Welcome back to the Zig Game Engine series. Okay, so let's get right in. What are we going to do today? We're going to build a window and paint a color to that window. So by the end of the episode, we'll have a nice window up. Again, any operating system. We're building in Zig and we're using GLFW. So you don't have to worry about what you're building on. You can do it Windows, Linux, Mac. And yeah, again, that's the point of the series. I want it to be as consumable for everyone, easy to access, easy to follow. And I'm going to keep trying that, trying to do the best I can with that as the series goes on. And just to recall what we did last time, again, like I said, we're going to use GLFW to create a window and GLAD to paint a window to the screen through OpenGL. But what we did last time, we already imported those dependencies. It's going to be very easy for us to just get right into the code and get something running with really just a handful of lines of code. And right before we get into the code, I just want to give a big shout out to everyone that watched the first episode. Really appreciate it. It's very motivating. And I know the quality of these videos is just going to keep getting better and better as it goes on. So if you have any feedback, very happy to hear it down in the comments. But yeah, let's now just get into the code. Okay. And we're back at the code. So looking back at what we did last time, again, we just set up the initial project. And if we go to run it, we get the Zephyr engine says hello. So that's exactly what we want. And to get started today, so if you remember last time, we added GLFW and Zig. So now what I like to do if we ever have any C dependencies is create the c.zig file. And that way any sort of like C import we have in Zig, we can do through here and it's just easy access. So I'm gonna do this. GLFW equals @c import and @c include, and we want glfw/glfw 3.h, and then we want essentially the same thing but for glad. So I think it's glad/glad.h. Okay, and one other thing I'm going to do is we're going to be working with GLFW windows, and the way it gives it isn't the cleanest. So just to help our code and help us typing, I'll do GLFW window as a type. So this is just a type for us. Okay, and that's all we're going to do here. So now going back to root, I am going to get rid of this and name this run. And for now, it's not going to return any errors. That means we'll get rid of this and call this run. And then I'm also going to just change this to like ZP, because this will be everything from our Zephyr runtime, and it's not returning an error. So right now, it'll do nothing if you run it. Okay. So I guess to go back to our imports, so we're going to just import everything we just had. So C equals import c.zig, which we just did. And then let's just get GLFW and glad for us. Okay, so now we have all our imports. So now we can start writing our GLFW code to initialize window. So if GLFW init equals 0, so that means it errored. And for now, we'll just print failed to initialize GLFW. And we'll return early. Okay. So now we know it properly initialized, so we can defer GLFW terminate. Will happen at the end. And now we're going to give a hint of the GLFW version we're using. Window hint, context, version major. We're going to be using 3, and minor is also 3. Then we're also going to hint that for GLFW to use OpenGL. So another window hint, GLFW, this time is OpenGL profile will be GLFW OpenGL core profile. Okay. So now that's kind of the initial stuff. If we run it, nothing's going to happen yet. You can see. But we didn't see any errors, so we know that GLFW has been initialized. So now what we're going to do is go in and actually create the window handle. So window equals GLFW create window. And let's just make it 1920 by 1080. We'll call it Zephyr. And then we don't need to pass these other two parameters. And as we see the kind of type hint in NeoVim here, it is that exact type we defined right here, the optional pointer to GLFW window. So that's going to come in handy throughout our code. So, but if window equals null, do a similar kind of error and return. So failed to initialize, let's say GLFW window. And then just as we did before, we'll defer the destroy. So that's one nice thing about Zig, is just having the ability to defer and not have to think about it like right at the end of cleaning everything up. We can just defer it right after we know it was created. So next, we're going to need the context. Make context current for that window. And then we're also going to turn on vsync. So this is one thing that will be controllable later. But for now, turn it on and let's just leave a comment. So one means vsync's on. Okay, we're getting close. So next we will need to initialize GLAD. So we will get the GLAD loader. So its type will be GL GLAD load proc. And we'll have to do a pointer cast and get that actual address from GLFW. Proc address. I'm not going to call it, but just the function. Takes the function pointer. And oops, meant to be pointer cast. Okay. So now we're going to do another error check. GLAD load GL loader of that loader. That equals 0. Then it failed. And then we will get another error message. Let's say if I failed to this time load GLAD. Okay, so now everything's loaded, and now this is the last part. We will just get our main run loop. So let's just do that. So while GFW window should close, window, well, that equals 0. So while it should not close, well, we should stay open. We'll pull events, and then here we will do the clear color. So here you can put any color you want, play around with it, have fun. I'm just going to do a gray just as it's a simple background. And then we'll also have to clear the buffer bit. We'll clear and then gl.gl color buffer bit. Okay. And then the last thing you do on every frame is swap buffers. So GFW swap buffers and pass that window. Okay. So if we have done everything correctly, you should have written the code. There we go. Perfect. To create a window. So now you have your window. You can resize it. You can do whatever you want. It is good. We can change the color. Let's just quickly see that in action, and we will fix that error that we just saw there. But first, let's just show. We'll change that to 0.6. You can see it gets closer to red because we just changed. It goes RGB. So you increase the red. It went more red. Okay, and to deal with this error, we can see platform terminate. So it happens GLFW terminate. So something I learned is that I believe this is a Wayland problem. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's still events in the GLFW's buffer, then when it goes to terminate, it throws the error. So all we have to do is after everything's done, call pull events one more time to clear that buffer. And now if we run and just melee close, we can see we no longer get that. Okay, I know one color, not that exciting. So next episode, it'll probably be a little longer episode, but we're going straight for getting a triangle on the screen. We are just going to directly use our GLAD functions. We're not going to worry about writing the cleanest code right now. It will get abstracted, honestly, the next episode probably. So let's just, next episode, let's get that triangle on. I know like it's something you want to be able to say you did. You got in computer graphics, you got that triangle. So I want everyone watching to be able to do that. So that's the goal of next episode. I hope you watch it. I think it'll be a lot more fun than these first two. But again, I appreciate anyone who's here watching these. Gotta start somewhere. Gotta have the base of your application. But to just give a little sneak peek of those that are watching this far, what I have planned for the next few episodes, obviously next one I said triangle, we'll get that on the screen. And then we'll start working on abstracting OpenGL, adding some very basic logging. It's actually very easy to do in Zig. So that'll be a fun one. Then we'll get into something a little bit more exciting, an event system, and then creating our sandbox app, scenes, input system, time. Those are all very critical parts of a game engine. So trying to get a lot of these core components built up as early as possible. But if you want to see even further, because I am further than even what I just listed, the GitHub link is down in the description. It's the latest code I'm writing. It's all there. You can run it, see what's happening, look at the code, use it as reference for what's happening after these videos if you want to get ahead. And again, also, I'm streaming a lot of this development. I'm streaming live on Twitch. That link is also down in the description. So appreciate if you go there, drop a follow, come say hi anytime. I know I said at the start, but if you made it this far, I appreciate you for watching. It means a lot. Trying to grow this channel, trying to get more consistent. And every episode, I'm trying to just improve the quality. So I hope that becomes noticeable over the next few episodes. And even this one, I'm hoping it's better than the last one. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, I'd really appreciate if you would like, comment, subscribe, really anything. Any activity means a lot to me and I really appreciate it. So that's it. Have a great day.